Sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya. Same if this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button, turn your notification so you are notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying a very big shout out to every one of you for the support. You all shower me here with I am grateful, and you all are super sweet. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about what is going on, Palestine, Israel, and all that. I've been avoiding to bring this here because I know YouTube has really been a little bit sensitive with Israel and Palestine stories and all that. And then let me start by saying that this palm-colored woman actually came out to tell people to turn their eyes away from what is going on, put your phone away. I mean, you don't have to be on, on social media. And if you see horrible video, you are not supposed to watch it. I mean, a lot of people are not finding that video funny, and I do not find it funny because it is screaming white supremacist. I mean, genocide is going on, and people are telling us to put up our phones away and turn our eyes away from what is going on. If only there were phones and connection, internet, and all this during you all will understand the horrible things these people have done and still doing to this very moment. Why are they trying to cut away the electricity and all that? Because they do not want people to capture what is going on. They do not want you to know what is going on. So they are trying to disconnect the ones they are going before they continue with. And somebody is telling you to put away your eyes and just if you cannot stomach, because you may not be able to stomach it. I am proud of all Black people, not just only African Americans, Black people in general, standing with Palestine, because Israel is making them look like they are the victims. You can imagine how somebody is hurting you and turning away to tell people that you are the one hurting him, And the fact that all this propaganda they've been pushing, and people probably do not even understand what even started this Palestine and Israel. And it's just crazy how America is saying a fight on Israel is a fight on us. And the worst part is that most of your favorite celebrities are supporting Israel. I am going to roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. So straight up.
And let's stay off social media for the rest of the weekend, checking in when we need to. But remember, when you see really dangerous, scary stuff, you are not required to watch it. Stay safe, and I will see you in the morning.
No. Imagine if there were phones in the 1800s, social media to the point where we could see the atrocities of slavery. Would you tell us to get off our phones then? Imagine if there were phones in the 1940s where we could see the atrocities of the Holocaust. Would you tell us to get off our phones then? Imagine if there were phones in 1921 or 1919 or 1915 when Black communities were being burned to the ground by white supremacists. Would you tell us to get off our phones then? Imagine if there were phones in the 1960s and the 1970s where we could watch a bomb being dropped on behalf of the U.S. government in Vietnam every 5 seconds. Would you tell us to get off our phones then? We are privileged to be able to sit here and watch what's happening in Palestine from afar. And years from now, we will look back and we will be judged how we reacted in this moment. The United States government, the Israeli government, and everybody that supports them wants us to stay off our phones this weekend. But the least we can do is to continue to spread awareness and keep our foots on the necks of the people who don't want us to see what's going on. That's the least we owe the people of Palestine.
So stop me if you've seen this before, like doing South African apartheid. But what does the intersectionality of white fragility and colonizer privilege look like in the face of a modern day apartheid? Under the Desk News decided she would give us an example.
Really difficult week. I'm really grateful to have been here with you. If you can, let's stay off social media for the rest of the weekend, checking in when we need to. But remember, when you see really dangerous, scary stuff, you are not required to watch it. Stay safe, and I will see you in the morning.
This is one of the main reasons I do not do allies, only accomplices. Because allies get to go home whenever they feel like it. An ally gets to watch from behind their position of privilege and are not touched by the day-to-day existence of danger for marginalized groups of people. We are watching a modern-day apartheid take place, and your best advice is to basically tell us it's not happening at your doorstep, so you should just turn away.
Only in America would people have the audacity to tell others that it's okay to turn a blind eye to what's happening in Palestine right now. Y'all are literally getting on the internet and telling people, oh, it's okay if these videos make you feel uncomfortable. No, the fuck it's not okay. Now is not the time to turn a blind eye. Now is not the time to go watch some cute little cat videos. If the shit makes you feel uncomfortable, you should probably lean into it more to learn about what the fuck is actually going on. Y'all so worried about, oh, my mental health and, oh, my comfortability, while people are literally getting bombs dropped on their fucking heads. It's white phosphorus in the fucking skies, and we're watching an ethnic cleansing in real fucking time. And y'all worried about your comfortable, cushy life over here in America. Like, the audacity is fucking crazy to me, bro. Like, Americans need to get their head out of their ass immediately. The world does not revolve around us. Y'all wonder why people hate Americans so much around the fucking world. It's not just because of the shady shit that our government does. It's not because Americans are loud and rude. It's because the rest of the world knows that Americans don't give a fuck about nobody else besides theyself. And we only have that luxury because of our geographical location in relation to pretty much the rest of the world. Like, but it's time for us to change that fucking narrative as Americans and let people know that we over here have some fucking humanity and that we actually give a fuck about what's happening in the world.
A really difficult week. Let's stay off social media for the rest of the weekend.
If you've ever wondered to yourself, how did white people not know about the Tulsa Race Massacre, or the murder of Ruben Salazar, or the criminal annexation of the sovereign nation of Hawaii, or the Trail of Tears? Now you know. They did know. They knew. And instead of standing up to help the oppressed people, they just told each other to look away and have a nice weekend. This is what white supremacy looks like. It's not always people marching in the streets with torches. It's more often than not just white people telling each other to look away while horrible things are being done in their name.
Stay off social media for the rest of the weekend, checking in when we need to, but remember, when you see really dangerous...
Leave it to a white woman in the United States to tell people to ignore a humanitarian crisis because they're so good at it here in the United States. What a privileged way to say, don't worry about those brown people over there. It must be so comfortable living in a bubble that allows you to downplay human being down to caricatures on your screen. To be able to cut tragedy on and off as you are able to digest it. Makes it so much easier to be fervently indoctrinated with the propaganda that continues the brutalization and the genocide of those that don't look like the complexion for protection globally. This is how we got here. This is how we got here. The greatest export of the United States is tyranny and lack of humanity. And encouraging people to turn a blind eye until it's comfortable for them, until they can have their 5 minutes of volunteerism. Because that's what'll get them through the pearly gates, right? Tragedy is not the title of this week's episode of your favorite TV drama or sci-fi flick. You don't get to look away today so that tomorrow you can continue to feast upon a diet of propaganda and further convince yourselves and those around you that it is okay to exterminate other human beings. Maybe it's time to come from underneath the desk and get a little bit more oxygen to that cranial area. Just a thought.
If you can, let's stay off social media for the rest of the weekend, checking in when we need to, but remember.
No, because to do so is a privilege. A privilege that millions of people who are experiencing the harm cannot do. It is our responsibility to watch, to pay attention, and to hold those who commit such atrocities accountable. The idea that we should feel the comfort and the privilege to turn it off or to turn a blind eye as people are experiencing an ethnic cleansing in 2023 right before our very eyes. To not pay attention, to turn it off, will only embolden those committing the oppression. Look what they have done when the entire world is watching them. Imagine what they'll do when we're not. I know for many of you this is hard for you to reconcile, but this is not about you, and this is not about your comfort. People are losing their lives, their livelihoods, their homes, their history, their culture. They're forced to live in an open-air prison under military assault by the local government, as well as the backing and support of another global leader, the United States, which many of us are citizens of. So we have to do our part here in the United States by holding our government accountable for participating, not just being complacent, but being an accomplice to mass murder and genocide. So no, don't turn it off and don't turn away, because at the very least you can do is sit with the reality of what our government is doing with our tax dollars and decide on if this is something you can live with. And if you can't, do something.
If you can, let's stay off social media for the rest of the weekend, checking in when we need to, but remember.
I'm not sure why they made that video, but it's really wrong. And I think the comment section is what really turned my stomach, is that, like, you decided to come on here and tell everyone else to not pay attention to an act of genocide. This is similar to like when we're reading history books and we're like, why didn't anybody do anything? Why did everybody just stand by and let it happen? Why wasn't anybody trying to stick up and defend the oppressed group? And their advice is, look away. Take care of your mental health while there are people fearing for their lives. That'll do it. And I wonder if this is the same stance they would have taken if that original video they posted about the terrorist attack against Israel would have went how they thought it would have went. Would you have told us to not pay attention if we were on the side of Israel? I don't think so. But wow, so out of touch.
If you can, let's stay off social media for the rest of the weekend, checking in when we need to.
No. This absolutely not. And I can't believe you even call this news at this point, because you are telling people to essentially ignore what is going on so that their comfortability is more important than the people's lives. This is another mechanism of dehumanization alongside American propaganda, whether you know it or not. And this is also contributes to the anti-intellectualism that has people not even understanding why there is a Palestine and an apartheid state today. It is our responsibility to understand what is going on. It is our responsibility to deconstruct and also ask deeper questions about how the West has allowed this to continue so long, that a right-wing prime minister is in charge of a state that is giving the okay to drop bombs on children and corralling people into parts of Gaza that they literally have no place to go, while also telling them to evacuate. This is a genocide, and you are telling people that their comfortability in their homes, that have water, that have food, that have shelter over their head, which they can talk to their families, is more important than people's lives. This is not journalism, and this is absolutely disgusting that people will sit here in those comments and say, oh, thank you, it's making my stomach hurt. You fucking have a stomach that can hurt. That is the harsh reality we are in right now. It is our responsibility to learn and understand. There are folks on this app reporting day and night on the ground there as much as they can, providing resources and references, asking people to do the interrogation so that we can understand why, and that realizing this shit will come for you next when you are complicit and allow the dehumanization of others. Y'all better keep y'all asses on the news. You better start asking deeper questions. And don't you ever let somebody tell you that your comfortability is more important than somebody else's life. This is not news. This is fucking propaganda.
If you can, let's stay off social media for the rest of the weekend, checking in when we need to, but remember.
This video was actually insane, okay? Telling people to fucking turn their eyes away from the genocide that Israel is committing against the Palestinian people, and then at the same time being one of these fucking life and death and love and birth and peace and love on the planet Earth, Steven Universe ass niggas, because Hamas attacked Israel, but you was quiet as a fucking church mouse when Israel was committing the same and even worse atrocities against the Palestinian people. Like this shit is nuts. Now listen, I don't believe in God, right? But if you do, if y'all believe there's a heaven and a hell, oh, best believe Western media is burning in hell forever. Forever. Like this shit, what we've been seeing from Western media, it is like, it's comically ridiculous, dude.
If you can, let's stay off social media for the rest of the weekend, checking in when we need to, but
Just a friendly reminder that if you cannot stomach what's happening right now, it's because you've consumed it, but you're not expressing it, which means you're in a white supremacist environment. If you consume media like this, you need to talk about it with others. Don't stay off social media. Don't ignore what's happening around you. Oh no, all these people are dying. There's nothing I can do except for smile and go have a spa day. That's white supremacy. That's white supremacy. Your feelings are valid and they matter, so you should go express them to the people in your general vicinity and area so that they understand what's happening, because this is called alerting people. We need to alert more people. The feeling of discomfort you have means that you need to go alert people about what's happening. You need to go talk to people about what's happening. When you talk to people about what's happening, that discomfort goes away because you're surrounded by a bunch of people. You guys are safe and you guys are informed. But when you tell people to log off and go have a fucking spa day because their feelings are a little fragile, you're advocating for white supremacy. And we all know white supremacy saves none of us, especially some of us who look like you, who look like me, who look like anything that is not a traditional cis-het white man. And by traditional, we all know that most of us don't fit into that category because he also must have wealth. So, stop advocating for white supremacy. Makes idiots of all of us. Go talk about what's happening.
social media for the rest of the weekend, checking in when we need to, but remember, when you see really dangerous, scary stuff.
It's kind of crazy that just last weekend you were on your social media sharing disinformation, misinformation. I forget the exact correct term for it, but there was such an immediacy in which you shared on this social media platform in a manner in which you wanted to share this misinformation, disinformation immediately, V. So the journalism card already taken off, been taken off. Okay. It's just gone now. I find it strange that when the height of focus is protecting the people of Israel, as it was last weekend, you want people on this app. But now that we have more understanding and more ability to have attention, have our eyes on Palestine, you want people to turn off their phones. That's fucking despicable.
Let's stay off social media for the rest of the weekend, checking in when we need to, but remember, when you see really...
It is extremely insensitive that when a genocide is going on right around the corner, to tell people it's okay to not watch. It's okay to turn off social media. Let's turn off our social media for the weekend. We don't want you having to see it. You don't have to look at it. It's okay. I want you to pay attention. They're saying the quiet part out loud. They are saying the quiet part out loud. This is how colonization works. You get people used to the chaos and just make them get quiet to it. You make people ignore it and go numb. This is very dangerous. As we speak, children are being unalived. Innocent children that have nothing to do with this. Innocent civilians. What they're basically saying is, it's okay. We're gonna do the dirty part. You enjoy your weekend. Go watch some TV, hang out with your friends, pretend this isn't happening, and we'll take care of it. Can't believe in 2023. I'm disgusted.
White countries feed and thrive off of the backs and oppression of black and indigenous people. If they all stood together, there would be no white countries. They would crumble to the ground. There would be no Britain. There would be no France. There would be no America. This is just the reality of the world, yet it takes this fucking level to put an end to white colonizers to stop oppressing a certain group of people. We've seen it all throughout history. South Africa, all through fucking Africa, all through Europe, and all through the Americas. Yet because they control the media for so long, they control the narrative. And when you control the narrative, you control how people perceive a certain group of people. And now because we have social media, people are able to have their voices heard. The oppressed people are allowed and able to have their voices heard. And people are finally realizing the fucking truth. People been knowing the truth, but now it's gone so mainstream that even people in major cities around the entire world are outside protesting for Palestine. People are sick and tired of white people colonizing and oppressing a certain group of people. They're fucking done with it. Nobody should be taking away basic human rights from a certain group of people just because you want all the fucking power, money, greed, and everything that comes with it. Take religion out of it. This is taking away basic human rights from the Palestinian people. And ever since the end of World War I, when the Europe countries, Britain and France and America, double-dipped a fucking deal and lied to the Arab nation and promised them independence, and then they ended up backhanding them and bringing the Israelites to Palestine. And then over time, the Israelites took over that fucking land and took over the fucking power, and they controlled all the electricity and the food and the water. And even just to get fucking permits or permission just from the Israelites and their apartheid government to be able to get anything or any resources in Gaza to build anything that they need is fucking ridiculous. And people are fucking tired. And when you control the media, you control exactly how people perceive a certain group of people. And people have been perceiving the Palestinian people wrong because of the fucking colonized media for all these goddamn centuries. It's over, motherfuckers. And the fact that it has to get to this level, we're done. We're fucking done.
Yes, I'm literally in my childhood bedroom sleeping at my mother's house because Medicare decided that she no longer needed to be in the rehab center and they discharged her. But she's not safe to be home alone, so I am now sleeping over at my mom's house to take care of her while my partner takes care of our children at my house.
So this is all I got from this video, and I really have been avoiding to talk about this, but man, we can't keep avoiding it. The whole thing going on, Palestine and Israel, and how the media also is doing all they can to shift the blame to Palestine. And I mean, we all already know what has been happening, how some people were like, what exactly is going on, what is happening. Like, some people really do not understand, for those that do not know history. I mean, this thing is about Palestine gave Israel land, and they forcefully took all the lands and imprisoned them and bombed them, the water, electricity supply, so they can't have any control over anything. It's just like, and another one that really got me is that with all this that they are doing, they still have the guts to say that God was the one that gave them the land. Over the land that Palestine gave them over 80 years, that they built wall around, and they are claiming God gave them. I mean, it's God. What is that? Maybe God is now an estate agent that gives people land and all that. And the fact that all these lies are flying around, and United States. Anyways, what do you all expect? Like, they are also backing up Israel. They said a fight on Israel is a fight on us. Well, one thing is that I am very happy that Black people really stood out, both African American and African as a whole. And they have been, I have been watching everything going on social media and all that. I mean, there are some top people in Africa that try to say, pray for, like the kind of counsel they got from people. They also went ahead to delete the messages or the something they put out on Twitter and all that. Everybody is not having it. Black people ain't having it. Everybody is standing with Palestine. Whoever that is standing with Israel are those that is benefiting from what that is going on, because they do not support where there is no benefit. I mean, everybody's waking up because the colonial masters, they have dealt with so many people, especially African countries, not just African Americans too. And everybody's trying as much as they can to stand up against them. Now, they are sitting all over, controlling the media and making Palestinians look horrible. And the one that actually caught my attention is a palm-colored person coming out to tell you to put down your phone, put away your phone. I mean, if you see danger, you are not supposed to watch it. How are we not supposed to watch it? How are we not supposed to watch what is going on and then condemn what is going on? We are standing with Palestinians and we are saying enough of all this bullshit. All they do is propaganda, because this is what she's out here pushing. And the genocide is going on. You're telling us to turn away our eyes off what is going on, what we can see. I mean, it is screaming white supremacists. That is what it is screaming. And a very big shout out to Ev. I see a lot of people. If you people want me to bring in more videos on this, why not? A lot of Black people are talking up. They've used their platform to educate people more on what is going on in Palestine and how the whole thing started, and because a lot of people are not even aware of what is going on. And some are out there saying, the God of Israel. If I hear that, the God of Israel from your mouth, I am going to shut it for you. I'm going to shut that for you. You know? Palestine, when they want their freedom, they are not asking for anything much. All these dramas you are seeing, paid adverts they are putting out to make Palestine the bad people, the wrong people, or the horrible people. No, they are not. They have been tormented. They have been through it all. And I hope some people can stop all this propaganda they put out. Like one of the people said, that's why they don't like allies. They come out to tell you what they think that it's, what fits their narration, or what fits what it's okay for them. They are trying to tell you to turn your eyes away from everything going on. Like we are not seeing it. Why did they disconnect electricity? Why did they take away the basic amenities? Why? Because they do not want people to know what they are doing. This is where I am going to draw the card. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.